As someone who shares about minimalism and decluttering online, I have heard every single excuse out there why people cannot declutter. And let's be real, most of them are pretty bad. Actually, so bad that I'm pretty confident that in this video I can bust every single one of them. So buckle up and be ready, because at the end of this video I'm pretty confident that you will also start decluttering. Excuse number one that I keep hearing is, oh, but it was so expensive. It was so expensive, I spent so much money on it, so I cannot get rid of it. And I get it. It can be very hard, but what you have to understand is that keeping this item, it won't bring you the money back, okay? Keeping it, it won't bring you the money back. You have to accept that you made a mistake, okay? You thought you needed it, but you don't need it. So it doesn't change anything if you keep it. Now, I also would sometimes love to believe that I am this perfect minimalist. I just do the great decisions, I know what I want, but everyone sometimes does some mistakes, okay? And we have to accept that in order to get rid of the things that make us not happy. Because the thing is, if you keep this item, it will remind you each and every day that you made a mistake. And that's not a good feeling and not a good surrounding that you want to live in. So what is far more worth that the value of this item is that the lesson it teaches you, okay? So when you think it was just too expensive, think about that everyone makes mistakes and thank you for the lesson and then let it go. Now, the second excuse that I keep hearing is, I could turn this into a DIY project. And on the first thought, this sounds amazing, right? Why not upcycling it and just giving it a new life? But you have to be realistic here, okay? How many unfinished projects do you have in your cupboard that you wanted to do? And it's also not fair for these items to just stand there and, let them wait and wait and wait for years, okay? You have to be realistic. Will you actually do it? And honestly, probably you would have already done it until now, okay? You stand there, you don't want to declutter because you want to do it, but you haven't done it yet, okay? So I would suggest letting it go, because the future you, it deserves better, It deserves this free space, because if you want to do DIY projects, you're probably a very creative person, okay? And therefore you will profit a lot from minimalism, from like an environment that lets your idea grow. And for that you have to let go of all these things that you want to do someday but you never do. The next reason why people keep telling me that they cannot be minimalists is because their partner or their family don't want to declutter. What you have to learn is that minimalism, it's a lot about self-discovery. And that's why it's important to start with yourself, okay? Everyone can start with the wardrobe, with the beauty care, with all the digital organization. Everyone can start there, okay? So this is not an excuse. And you know what will happen? You will start building momentum, but also you will be a role model for others in your life, okay? They see how your life gets easier through decluttering, and then they will also start decluttering. Actually, Marie Kondo also talks about this in her book, so if you haven't read that, it's a very good point to start. Another limitation that I keep hearing is that people are scared that they will regret that they decluttered certain items. When I give it away, it's gone forever, they say. What I can tell you is that the positive effect from decluttering and minimalism is worth this risk, that you maybe give away 1 or 2 items out of 100 that you maybe need one day, okay? And you have to learn that you can get them back, okay? They are just so valuable to you because you own them, you associate so much with them. But most of the items you can actually declutter and worst case get them back. But it will not really be a lot of items. Now be honest with yourself. What's this one excuse that you keep telling yourself? Let me know in the comments if I covered it, and if not, I will definitely make an update or like a part 2. I need this item as my backup plan. What if my current one fails? Sometimes you do need a backup, and what I can recommend you here is smart solutions over hoarding. I can give you an example from my own life. For my laptop, it's important for me that I can always work, okay? It needs to always be charged because I work remotely and this is very important. So I have my normal charger, and then I found a smart solution because I have this smaller adapter. You can see it in my other videos where I can plug literally everything. On the day-to-day life, I use it for my iPhone, but worst case, I can also plug in my laptop cable and charge my laptop with it. Okay, so it's not an extra item, but it's a smart solution. You don't need 5 backups. Actually, in all this time where I live a minimalist lifestyle, I have just recently had it once that the charger didn't work. Okay, then I had my smart solution, but it was also throughout the day, so I could just have gone and like buy a new one. You don't need 5 backups. Find smart solution over hoarding. Also, maybe your roommate, your partner, even your neighbor has a similar cable. Cables get standardized and many people have them. So just have a plan B, a backup plan, and then get rid of all these extra items. Someone gave it to me as a gift. Someone took a lot of thoughts and put this into these gifts. I feel bad to give it away. The moment you receive a gift, it has actually done its purpose. It has given some joy to the person who gave to you. You got it, now it's yours, okay? At this very moment where you receive the gift, it's yours and you can do with it whatever you want. And think of it. It has to, like, the purpose of it is that it serves you with joy. So if it doesn't give you joy, you can let go of it, okay? It's not a problem actually. And I have gotten many things gifted and I'm always very, very happy about it. I be very thankful for it, but if it doesn't serve me, I will consider giving it away. What I actually like to do is to do a little testing phase for gifts, okay? If I didn't choose things myself, I try to find a place for it in my life, and if I cannot find one, I'm much more happy to give it away. Think of it, there is people who will be happy with this item, It doesn't have to clutter up your space. If it's a nice gift, people will be happy for it, they will be happy to receive it and to use it. What if I regret it? Some people have this fear that the moment they give something away, they will instantly miss it and regret it. Honestly, in all these years of decluttering, I maybe had 2 or 3 items that I thought, okay, it would have been nice to still have them. One, for example, is a jean short that suited me very well. Now, did I really miss it so much that I made an effort to go out and buy a new pair of jeans shorts? No, I didn't. So it wasn't that hard, We have to be realistic here. It doesn't happen that often. It's just in your head. It's just this attachment that you have with these items. So if you think that you maybe regret it, there's 2 options. Either you do let it go because you realize that you actually never use it in your day-to-day life, okay? Or you find a place for it. I don't have time to declutter right now. I will do it one day. It's important to understand that this one day, it will probably never arrive. This one day where you have a whole weekend or a whole week to declutter your stuff, it will never arrive. And if it does arrive, wouldn't it be nicer to do something with your family, your husband, your kids? That's why it's important to integrate decluttering into your day-to-day life. Get it done Monday to Friday. You do 15 minutes a day. I actually have an ebook where I teach this method, which is called Agile Decluttering. And this basically means that you have a goal in mind and then you go through it step by step, but systematically, okay? It's easy. Everyone can start today. You can download my ebook and then get started. I don't want to just throw the stuff out, but then selling takes up too much time. Girls, we have to get our shit together, okay? We are not lazy on this channel here. Actually, I am more a lazy person. I like things to be easy, but I want to move forward in life. And in order to move forward in life, you have to get your shit together, okay? So you have to get started, and I always recommend donating. You know, there is something in between. You just don't have to throw it away. You don't have to take all this time to sell it, but you can actually donate it. That's the easy solution. Imagine someone actually using the stuff that is a burden for you. Imagine them being very happy with it and actually, you know, bringing joy to their life. So go out, donate it, and you will not regret it. This item reminds me of a specific time in my life, and I don't want to throw away those memories. Memories, they exist in you and not in these items. You have to learn to separate that, okay? These items, they cannot hold the memories. It's you. It's in you that, you know, this memory is. And while I do think that it is nice to have some items that really remind you of specific situations, it's crucial to understand that if everything is special, nothing really is, okay? You have to remember this sentence. If we have all these things in our life that reminds us, it will take up all our attention, and we only have a certain attention for things in our life. So if everything is special, then nothing really is. That's why it's important that you really focus on certain items that hold the specific memories. How do we know which one we should keep? The first thing is that it's important that it holds positive and just joyful memories that you actually want to remember. If that's the case, find these one specific items that you can integrate into your daily life, because I don't think it's nice to have these things clutter up your home. You have to find that very minimal things that actually you want to keep. Now let's think back to the beginning of this video, where we had all these limitations in our head why we cannot declutter. Have I managed to prove you wrong? Are you now more motivated to declutter? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!